What is going on, guys and girls? How you doing today? It's Anger Roleplay here once again. Today I want to talk a little about another type of specters which I've been experimenting with, and these guys are called the Undying Incinerators. I tried to search for the closest reference or video when people played this type of specters, and I only found like 2 or 3 years ago reference videos where people actually bothered with them. And since they were not very popular, I wanted to take a closer look, especially if that I saw that the damage is pretty interesting on these ones in the puzzle building, and they totally blew the fuck up my expectations. First of all, I was really surprised by how well they survive. They have like the base life pool of about 11,000 HP, which is like 100% base HP for the specters. At the same time, I killed Sheeper on the 5-link deathless, and it was a really solid kill. They didn't even budge, they didn't even suffer. The specters are really tough. At the same time, I was very surprised by the single target. I didn't expect it to be that crazy. I think that the single target is much better than on the solo guards. And the clear speed and overall the mobility of the specters is also very respectable, very nice. I think they are really good candidates, and I honestly even just enjoy them much more than the Valrisen Advocates personally, because of how flexible and crazy they were. So this is it. This type of specters can be found in the Crematorium, which is Act 3, and there are many types of Undying monsters in the game, but we are currently looking for the Undying Incinerator, and I have 3 types of attacks on them. The first type is a Fireball, pretty much just like Solar Guards or the Valrisen Advocates. It's pretty much a standard Fireball. It does damage, the same amount of damage like the Valrisen Advocates, so it's comparable amount of fireball damage in them. The second type of damage that they deal is a Suicide Explosion, and this is a lot of fire damage, and this is like the disadvantage of the specters, because when they get on low life, which is less than 35%, they just explode as suicide and you lose your specter. And that's why I think that they might potentially rip against Uber Elder or Uber Atziri. If they really get hit by something very strong, they can get on low life and just evaporate. Of course, they will also die on the Hall of the Grandmasters, because specters just can't handle the Hall of the Grandmasters at all. The third and possibly the most interesting type of attack that they do is the Trap. It's also called the Monster Firebomb. Overall, it's just like a firebomb attack. It looks a lot like Fire Trap, Skill Jam. They basically throw the bomb, and it deals damage over time on the ground. It's a ground damage over time. Not only the bomb itself does a pretty damn crazy amount of fire damage, but the base fire damage per second on the ground is also pretty respectable, like Matthew says, a respectable amount of damage there, guys. I believe there's these things combined, like the fireball and the fireball and the firebomb. These 2 things combined make it a very interesting amount of single target they can get. Because I played a lot of Solar Guards, I played a decent amount of time on the Risen Advocates, and I played several days on the Undying Incinerators, and these specters, honestly, they surprised me the most. With the single target damages was totally absurd. I don't know why it's so good, but it's just totally impressed me, and I think they are really strong candidates for the single target, and they are very nice for the clear speed too. As far as you can see, the damage is pretty basic, and the life pool is also pretty basic, and this is probably one of the strongest disadvantage. But once again, for the mapping, this is not really a big problem, because it's like a base life pool of most minions, and most specters in the game. It's about like 11,000 HP, and they leech quite a lot of this as well. Another big disadvantage that I've that we have is definitely the resist, but they only have fire res, just like the Solar Guards once again. So they are prone to dying to the Uber Elder, Shaper Balls, and all kind of cold damage, heavy lightning damage like Chiulas, Ash, all that stuff. They hold no Chaos res, so they potentially might rip to the very strong Syndicate attacks and Chaos damage. Aside from that, they are just absolutely incredible. I strongly recommend these guys. So here are Undying Incinerators in a path of building, and I compare them to the Solar Guards and let you know, guys, how I feel about them. So overall, the setup that I use is absolutely standard setup that I use for the Solar Guards, so we can easily compare the amount of damage that they can do. These are level 84 Spectres once again. So this is the damage of the Fireball. As you can see, it's quite decent. It's pretty much just like the Valrisian Advocates. Let me compare. This the Fireball. Yeah, this is pretty much the same, except the cast rate on the Incinerators is much higher. The cast rate is the same as the Solar Guard, so they cast quite fucking fast. The damage is also very nice. The second type, I've never personally seen them explode, but I believe they will be a really impressive amount of damage when they suicide. This is like 400k. This is higher than any attack that I've seen. I think this is even higher than the Firestorm on the Valrisian Advocates. It's even higher than the Firestorm, so this is a very strong attack. And the final one is the Firebomb, like I said, and this is the damage over time that they do. And I believe they can also poison with this attack, with this kind of spell that they can use. So with the poison and damage over time, they have almost 230k, which is once again a very respectable amount of damage. And I believe that if we really like compare the Fireball and Firebomb and add them all together, this gives us about a 500k damage, which is pretty damn strong. And I think that this is stronger than the Solar Guards, because Solar Guards, like I said, they have the Fireball, which is strong, and the Beam, which is weak, which is like 450k damage, and the Incinerator is 230 Fireball and 230. Yeah, it's pretty much the same, but it's damage over time too. So pretty close damage to the Solar Guards, like I said. So I want to summarize once again, guys, what were my expectations and what were the results of the test on the Undying Incinerators. First of all, I was really surprised by the single target. It felt much stronger than the Solar Guards. At the same time, the clear speed was very respectable. They are just a little shittier than Solar Guards in terms of clear speed, I believe. Just somewhat a little slower to ramp up, a little slower to react. The cast rate is good, like we saw in the power building, but they still feel a little bit slower in mapping. Another disadvantage that I might potentially see is the low life pool, of course, and the no resistances, like no cold res, no chaos res, no lightning res, so they can potentially die to Uber Elder, of course. But I haven't tested personally on the Uber Elder. I just don't have the frags and shit, and I can't really spawn Uber Elder for now. But I think they have potential. They have a lot of potential, and as a candidates for basically a substitute for the Solar Guards, I think they are extremely good. This is a really solid, nice, good alternative without any major disadvantages. They are actually a lot like Solar Guards, just a little different. So I enjoyed playing them a lot. First of all, I would like to thank you very much for watching the video. Your likes and dislikes, especially, as they push me forward even more. If you want to see more content, please consider subscribing to the channel. I do daily uploads of role-playing content, be it builds, guides, let's play, stream highlights, and upcoming RPG games. Also, don't forget to follow my Twitch stream to catch me live in action. I do stream daily on working days. I'm a full-time YouTube content creator and a Twitch streamer too, so if you want to support me, you can do it either from Twitch or by PayPal directly from my website angryroleplayer.com. Join my Discord channel too for a place to discuss RPG things offline, as well as follow my Twitter to be notified on any new content. If you want to get extra information like sneak peeks into upcoming videos, plans, different behind-the-scenes footage, you can also join an Unholy Army on Patreon as well, guys. Thank you very much once again for watching, listening to all this. See you soon.